Coming off their best all-around performance in the 2025 season, Donovan Ezeraku notches his first sack in the NFL, and the Cowboys dominate the Washington Commanders in Week 7, 44-22. The final. We welcome you in to Special Edition inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco with Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. This is a fun week to talk about the Cowboys because they're back to 500, 3-3-1. You got an incredible matchup on the docket this week in Week 8 against the Denver Broncos, and the Cowboys, at least according to last week, have played their best football over the last 7 days. So with all that to be said, there is one consistent with the Cowboys, and that is the offensive side of the ball. This is the top offense statistically in the NFL right now, and they continue to play at an extremely high level. Barry, I know you're a defender on the show.
Yes.
You've seen some good offenses in the day. Where would the Cowboys rank in terms of the best offenses in the NFL?
I think there's no question that this is the best offense in the National Football League. I mean, we all understand this is a quarterback league, and the Cowboys, Dak Prescott is playing the best at that position right now. Not only that, they have the best wide receiver duo in the National Football League. Nate's boy, Jake Ferguson, he's going off. You got the juggernaut in the backfield toting that rock as well. So to me, when you look at it, all things considered, the Dallas Cowboys have the best offense in the National Football League.
Yeah, nobody can disagree with what you're saying. You know, that tandem that they have at the receiver position, Jake Ferguson making his contributions, the running game is being consistent, and Dak's not turning the ball over, being very high with his passing, high precision passing, whether it be from dropbacks or whether it be from play action. These guys are highly efficient.
And the thing I like about it, man, is Dak is making great decision making, and you've always said that about him, Isaiah. When he's making the right decisions, things click. And as long as he stay up on his feet, as long as his offensive line can play together, they will be the #1 offense at the end of this year.
And the Cowboys, of course, getting that quarterback play from Dak. He has 4 straight games with at least 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. That's the second longest streak of that kind since the 1970 merger. It's been a long time since quarterback play has been that consistent all the way through. So the offense doing their thing. They put up 44 in the last game and 40 in all 3 of their home games. But the defense gets some reinforcements this week as well. Not only DeMarvion Overshown back at practice this week, still unsure whether or not he will play on Sunday against Denver, but Savone Revel also activated off of the injured reserve list, having both of those guys, both former third-round picks, big-time additions to Matt Eberflus's defensive unit. We've got plenty coming up later in the show, including that Jake Ferguson character Isaiah was just mentioning. We'll go in-depth at what has made him special on the 2025 season. And then coming up next, how about George Pickens? What has he done to the rest of this NFL? He has been dominating opposing defenses so far.
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. This segment is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
He's a tremendous weapon because of his size. He's a guy that if you're not combative with down the field, he's almost impossible to cover on those 50-50 throws. I think there's huge momentum swings for us when that happens. I know I feel that way. You know, you throw a go ball down there and he catches it, you're excited. But if he doesn't catch it and you see a flag, you're just as excited because it's normally going to be a PI penalty and not an illegal contact penalty.
Quite possibly the biggest offseason acquisition in the league has been George Pickens coming to the Dallas Cowboys via trade this May. And Isaiah, I know you've been watching the film and breaking it down for what Pickens does special. Those pass interference penalties are starting to stack up. 116 yards he has drawn on pass interference. Is there an art to that as a wide receiver?
There's not necessarily an art to it. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own style. But George Pickens does one heck of a job of getting on the toes of the defensive backs. That means he is closing that gap. He is taking away their space, making them uncomfortable. And then if you put the ball in his area, you know as a defensive back that he can catch the ball with one hand. So as you see here on your screen, you're grabbing him, they're holding him. He has one hand free, and he's still able to potentially make these kind of catches. So you're going to do everything that you can as a defensive back, and you can't be concerned with the ball because you have to be concerned with him.
I don't have the skill set of these other two guys, but every time I watch this guy catch a ball, it's always seemed to be at the last minute. So that throws the DB off, looks like to me. So, I mean, then he will induce contact early in the game and get you tied up, and the next thing you know, PI.
And Barry, I know you don't like talking about pass interference. So when it comes to George Pickens, how does he do it so well?
He, like Nate said, he releases his hands late. As a defensive back, you're taught to, break the seal, break the ball, or try to break up the pass when the receiver's hands goes up, especially when you're trailing them. But George Pickens does such a great job of bringing those hands out extremely late to where by the time the DB is stretching for the football, it's either in his hands or he's panicking, grabbing, holding, and that's how you get those offensive penalties.
So Pickens has been effective on the offensive side. When we come back, we're going to break down how Jake Ferguson has been effective. We got Isaiah Stanback with the remote ready to go on the film room, spotlighting Jake Ferguson. Is he the best tight end in the NFL right now?
This segment was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
Jake Ferguson in some elite company through the first 7 weeks of the season. Fourth in the NFL in receptions behind just Jamar Chase with 58. Puka Nacua in the Los Angeles Rams. He has 54. Then you've got a running back up there. How about Christian McCaffrey? He's had a great start to the year for San Francisco. And then our man, Jake Ferguson, 51 receptions, most out of all tight ends in the NFL. And he's done a number of different things to help open up this Cowboys offense led by Dak Prescott. So, gentlemen, let's talk about Jake Ferguson. Barry, his numbers might support it, but has he been the best tight end in the NFL so far?
Kyle, I'm not ready to put him in that category just yet. I feel like there's some more dynamic tight ends out there in the National Football League, but you can't deny what Jake Ferguson has done so far. I mean, he's been a red zone nightmare and a mismatch nightmare, so he's on his way, just not in that category for me yet.
Yes, he's the number one tight end in the league because he's one of the number one blocking tight ends in the league. He's ranked second in the league with 6 TDs. He's 39 with 334 yards. The average is not worth talking about per catch, but he is the number one guy in my book.
So the numbers tell one story.
Yes.
What does the film say? That's the next part of this segment, and that's where we bring Isaiah Stanback out. He's got the clicker on the hip pocket, ready to roll. Take us through the film. What makes Jake Ferguson special as a blocker, as a pass catcher, and as an overall teammate?
Well, he is the full package when you talk about tight end. You just mentioned the ability to be able to block in the running game, the ability to be a threat and be dynamic down the seams, and then obviously to be able to do some of the little 5-yard catches. We're going to cover all those right up here. I got my big dog, Nate Dogg, right here, so we have to talk about his ability to run block. Nate, you see the man right here, the end man on the line of scrimmage right here. He's going to be in a little bit of a wing set. On this particular play, we're going to go down, down, and around. So as it's shown right here, okay, Tyler Guyton's going to get the end man on the line of scrimmage. Ferguson's going to work up to the second most dangerous man, and then we're going to pull, and we're going to pull. That's the way it looks right now. So this man is going to be unblocked, okay? That's the way it currently states. Boom, let's put the play button. All right, as you guys see here, boom, last minute adjustment. Now his blocking responsibilities change, right, Nate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now all of a sudden, who's the in man on the line of scrimmage?
Right there.
Right there. Okay, so now Ferguson has seen this, hasn't even skipped the beat. Okay, now we're going down, down, and around, okay? So now you're going to see Ferguson take care of business. If Ferguson does not get this man blocked, Nate, is the play worth anything?
It's gone. It's blowed up.
It's done and done, okay? Yeah. But you guys are going to see Ferguson fight his butt off right now. Boom! Pause it right there. You guys are going to see him get the end man on the line of scrimmage. Obviously, Guyton has his guy. He has to secure this guy. Now we can kick out, and now BB's going to be able to work up and get up to this next man, and now we're off and running. But if Ferguson doesn't fight, as you guys see him right here, fighting to keep that end man on the line of scrimmage blocked, this play is a no-go, but he does. So what do you see right there? Aha, I have vision, and if I have vision, I can go ahead and get this thing down the field. We don't have to watch the rest of this play because we know what happens. He gets honked. But Ferguson did his part, and that's what we're talking about. Now, let's go ahead and go to the passing game, okay? On the passing game, He understands coverage right here. You guys are going to see it right. He's going to be right here at the top of your screen. Let me go ahead and pause that here. Okay, where we at? Bam. Right here on your screen, okay? There he is. Now, what does it look like to you right now, Barry, coverage-wise?
Looks like cover 4 to me.
Looks like cover 4, okay? It could be cover 4 or it could be cover 2, okay? And in cover 2, responsibilities, I have that half, I have that half, I have this part of the field, I have this part of the field, and then these guys are running out into what we call hook drops, okay? Boom, 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 boom. These are the responsibilities. So in cover 2, as a safety, Mr. Barry, where is the weak spot of the secondary?
Them seams.
Them seams, okay? Right here in these seams. And the only way you can hit these seams is if you get past this hook defender. Oh, well, what happens there? Well, you have this guy going there, you got that guy going there. The window is right here. So Ferguson understanding coverage, he sees this, and he understands as soon as I get up on this linebacker right here who's going into my hook drop, now I'm going to get my eyes back where?
To the ball.
Get my eyes back to the ball. So as you guys see it, right here, he's on that linebacker. Boom, eyes are immediately back to the quarterback. His eyes are on Dak. Dak's eyes are on him. This is a match made in heaven. I have to get the ball to him before he gets to who? This guy right here. You do not want to get to that guy. That's where Barry Church lives.
Yes, sir.
Boom, ball's right down the seam. That's how he can be a dynamic tight end like my boy BC said. Now, what does Nate love about him? Nate loves the dirty work.
Yes,
the dirty
sir.
work is Mr. 5 yards, okay? So Mr. 5 yards is going to run a zero route. I mean, talking about 0 yards. How many yards? 0 yards. Line of scrimmage is right here. Line of scrimmage is right here. Kyle, where is he running his route?
Right there.
Right there, okay? So let's go ahead and run that back one more time. All right, boom. Right here, he's at the end man line of scrimmage. He is going to block down, and then he's going to go out to the flat, catches the ball right at the line of scrimmage. Just pause it right there. Where's the line of scrimmage?
Right there.
Right there, okay? Line of scrimmage is right here, okay? So he catches the ball at the line of scrimmage and then is able to turn upfield and split right here. That's what we're talking about, BC.
Yes, sir.
Split, because you guys are saying out, in.
Yes, sir.
So you got to split these guys. Nice little 5-yard catch.
7-yard gain.
That was 5. That was 5. That's fine. So we're
But
talking about.
that's what he's been good at throughout his entire career, is being a safety blanket.
Yeah.
When nothing else is there, or even by design, he is a steady hand
Absolutely.
for Dak Prescott to throw to, and that's why he has 51 receptions this year. When we come back on Special Edition, the Cowboys also making an impact in the community with their partners of blockchain.com. More Special Edition right after this.
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. This segment is brought to you by the Salvation Army, doing the most good.
This week, the Dallas Cowboys partnered with blockchain.com to renovate the Salvation Army Maybe Center, creating an education station to support families and youth through educational resources.
He got me. So today we are at Salvation Army, and we are in their new kind of like learning center, their education station they call it, brought to you by blockchain.com. And we're just here having a good time with the kids, playing Connect 4, reading some of the books, looking at our math workbook here that we got.
So, you got the math problem, and then he got 88, but we chose Michael Irvin. He said that's his favorite 88, but we also love CD,
Yeah.
For sure.
The renovation includes a brand new technology center to support digital learning and connectivity, while an updated library and game nook will provide a fun and engaging environment for children to read and play.
I'm mostly excited for my kids to be able to have a safe space to get their homework done and focus and have a place to hang out.
This exciting and intentional initiative aims to provide families with tools for resume building, job searches, and skill development in a welcoming, modern space.
The Dallas Cowboys bring partners like blockchain.com to provide valuable resources to help serve the greater need in the North Texas area.
Blockchain.com has a growing presence here in the community within Dallas, and partnering up with the Dallas Cowboys and Salvation Army, there's no better way to grow our presence in the community and help foster financial literacy throughout.
I remember as a young kid looking up to football players and just athletes, and whenever they come to our school, especially like the high schoolers, that would make my day.
1, 2, 3, go Cowboys!
For the Dallas Cowboys, I'm Pamela Jagger-Purcell.
Cowboys doing great stuff in the community. Now they'll head to the community of Denver. Up to the Mile High City they go this week to take on the AFC West leaders. We preview the matchup next on Special Edition.
This segment was brought to you by the Salvation Army, doing the most good. Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Special edition presented by AT&T was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Cowboys Nation, head to Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium for a free watch party presented by 7-Eleven. Watch the Dallas Cowboys face off against the Broncos in Denver on Sunday, October 26th. Doors open at 2 p.m. and kickoff is at 3:25. There's a performance by the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Slurpee samples, $5 Miller Lights, and a whole lot more. Claim your free ticket at dallascowboys.com/watch party. And you can watch Cowboys pregame live, 2 p.m. start time on Sunday. How about this? Big-time comebacks from the Denver Broncos. They did so against current NFC East foe, the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you've got the New York Giants last week where they put up, count them, 33 points. 33 points in the fourth quarter, most by a team in NFL history that was shut out through the first 3 quarters of the game. Back with Isaiah, Barry, and Nate. I'm Kyle Youmans wrapping up Special Edition. Gentlemen, the comebacks are significant, but the question is still there. They're 5-2. Okay. What makes the Denver Broncos special? Who are they, Barry, when you look at the film?
When I look at the film and when I look at the Denver Broncos, this is a team that you've got to play all 4 quarters against. I mean, Kyle, you just mentioned it. Giving up or getting 33 points in the fourth quarter alone is pretty much an indictment on the New York Giants defense. But when you look at it, this team just never gives up. All right, when you look at it defensively with the Broncos, man, they can get after the quarterback. I believe they had maybe 34 or 35 sacks out there as a total, so they can rush the passer. The secondary led by Patrick Surtain is one of the stickiest secondaries there is in the National Football League. So defensively, they're a powerhouse. Offensively, they're led by a guy named Bo Nix, who pretty much can do everything. Run the football, pass the football. He's dynamite when it comes to the quarterback position. So this is a team that you've got to be wary of, but you got to be able to play all 4 quarters against them as well.
The Denver Broncos are led by their defense. This is one of the best defenses in the league. These guys are scary. They're frightening. They play fast. They can run to the ball. They can match up with absolutely any team, no matter what style of play you want. Offensively, these guys they're quick strike guys. These guys have the big-time playmakers that can get down the field. They have a quarterback that can deliver the ball to them. They have a solid running game. The reason why the Giants messed up is because the Giants were playing man-to-man for 3 quarters of the game, and they caused a lot of problems for them. Then they took their foot off the gas, and they started playing zone. You don't want to play zone against a quarterback that has time and against a Sean Payton offense. First and foremost, it's Sean Payton. Everywhere he's been, his teams has played sound football. What happened with the Giants last year, that last week is uncommon. His teams play hard. They play discipline. You look at the film, they adjust to everything on defense. They have 34 sacks, 8 by one guy, 6 by another, 2 or 3 by 4 or 5 other guys. They come at you in a multitude of ways, defense. The same with the offense. Like my man said, it's a big strike offense. Cortland Sutton is a big target. Yep. Hey, before Sean Payton, just somebody. Now he's everything to this quarterback. 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Quarterback Bo Nix, he's better than I thought coming out of college.
Cortland Sutton, top 10 wide receiver. When you look at the pass rush numbers from the defense for the Broncos, first in sacks, first in pressure rate, first in pressure percentage, and pressures overall, quarterback hits. Oh, and by the way, guys with 3 sacks or more in the league, they lead it with 5. They've got 5 of those guys on the defensive side. Who's the most dangerous element of this as we wrap up on Special Edition?
I'm going to go in the secondary. I'm going to go with a guy named Patrick Surtain. I mean,
Defensive Player of the Year.
What this guy can do to opposing offenses, he can lock down the number 1 wide receiver out there. Thankful for the Dallas Cowboys, you got 2 number 1s on the outside in George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. But Pat Surtain, he's a guy that you've got to be wary about because if you throw the football his way, it's either going to be an incomplete or he has a chance to take it the other way. This guy is that bad.
Nick Bonito, he's going to be lined up over Tyler Guyton all day long. He is an absolute problem.
Number 93, DJ Jones. You ain't heard of him? He's a 6 foot, 300-pound spark plug, ain't giving up nothing over the center.
How about J.K. Dobbins? I'm going to throw that name in there, too. He's second in the NFL in runs of 10 yards or more this season, only behind Jonathan Taylor, who's contending for Offensive Player of the Year right now in the National Football League. It's a 3:25 kickoff on CBS this week. Cowboys, Broncos. The Cowboys have not won in Denver since 1992. For Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long from the Star in Frisco.